Hello my friends, welcome to Honest Violets. Today I'm here with this Zygopetalum orchid and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the care and we will repot it together. So stay tuned. If you're for the first time on my channel, please subscribe and click on the bell button to be notified of all videos that I post every week about different plants and gardening. So here I have the Zygopetalum, which is actually Louisendorf. I'm not really sure because sometimes it's really hard to tell the variety because there are a couple of crosses and the flowers actually look very similar. So if you think that it's not Louisendorf, please let me know which variety it can be based on the flower. And the reason why I repot it is because you can see it's still in its original pot that I bought from the store a couple of months ago. It's already so high, the pseudobulbs, you can see that it grew this one big pseudobulb. This is absolutely new and it had two, so one, two, and this is the third one. Well, now you can see that one pseudobulb, the first, the very old one, the oldest one, actually lost its leaves, but it's absolutely normal because still this pseudobulb will serve as a storage for nutrients and water for the rest of the plant, for the whole plant actually, because they're all together. And yeah, you can see that this pseudobulb is a little bit wrinkled. This means that there was a period of time when it was not watered properly and it got wrinkled a little bit. But this new pseudobulb, you can see that it's so much bigger first of all than all these two. And the newest one is actually the biggest, and I'm going to repot it now to let it grow, to have place to grow roots and grow new pseudobulbs. And as you can see, and maybe you know, that Zygopetalums, they grow in one direction. So this is the oldest pseudobulb and this plant is growing like this in this direction. It will not grow new pseudobulbs from this side or this side. This is the way how they grow. Okay, let's just start. I will just, depending on the number of roots, we will take it out now and we'll see the condition of the roots, how many roots it has, and maybe I will even repot in the same size pot here, which will then go here, and it will be absolutely fine because the leaves are also bigger and they're kind of hanging. Or if not, then I will repot it in this one, which is a little bit wider so that the plant will have a space to grow new roots and new pseudobulbs. See, it's a little bit wider. Alright, but depending on the roots, we'll see what to do now. And the medium that I'm going to use is just my normal orchid medium from Frogs that I use for many of my orchids, I would say, Phalaenopsis, and also different others, Post-Repotting actually, Cambrius. It works really well for me. So first, let's just remove the old soil. It will be really easy. You can see I just squeeze the plastic pot and it goes out really easily. Well, you can see that the roots are quite healthy. We do not need this support anymore. This was for the flower. Yeah, and you can see that it's quite healthy, I would say. I will just remove the medium. They are actually cool growers. So this, depending on the climate, this may sometimes be hard to have, cool areas, especially in the summer. But yeah, if you have, then it's fine. Well, there are some roots which are rotten, I must say, but it's also natural. There are not many. It's not a sign of a disease or that they get rotten. There are some bacteria or anything, but it's just the normal life cycle because, of course, during its life period, well, they lose some roots and they grow many roots. So it's absolutely normal if there are a couple of like rotten or dry roots. You can just pull them and you will feel, well, first of all, if they're brown and mushy, then this means that the root is dead, rotten, and you need to remove it. But if they are firm, see, if they are firm, it's absolutely then fine. And you can just pull them and leave this kind of, these are actually the real roots are these ones. So leave them still because they will still be able to take some moisture. And the rest is absolutely fine. Just be a little bit careful with the roots because I just heard a crack, which means, I guess, maybe I broke one root, but the rest is absolutely fine. These are just all the roots that you need to remove, and that's absolutely... Actually, I would say that this type of orchids are, it's really easy to grow them. I would say compared to Phalaenopsis. If you have never had an orchid and you would like to start from an orchid, I would really recommend this type of orchid, Zygopetalums, because they're quite, easy to grow. You just pot them, you keep the soil moist. They actually like to dry a little bit between the watering, but not for too long, so don't really make them dry, but yeah. So if you want, you can wash the roots, but I'm not going to wash it. You can just plant just like this, and this will be absolutely fine. So as you can see, the roots are quite healthy. See, they're white and here a little bit even brown, green, which means that it was a little bit above the soil, above the medium, and it's so light, so sun a little bit, and it started to photosynthesize. But the rest is absolutely fine. Look at these roots. They're absolutely healthy, and I'm just going to repot it in a new pot. Now, of course, when you repot your Zygopetalums, you can just decide if you remove this old pseudobulb or no, because it will not produce any more roots, it will not bloom, but it just stays here just for the storage. So if it loses its shape a little bit, if it's brown, if it gets yellow, if you feel that it's already almost dead, then you can just pull and remove it. It will be totally fine, because these pseudobulbs have already their own roots, and they will continue growing. But this one is still quite green and it can be useful for the plant. So I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to pot up my Zygopetalum here, because then it will be wider area, wider space for my Zygopetalum to grow roots and to grow more pseudobulbs. And for that, I'm going to, first of all, of course, put a little bit medium to the bottom. Nice. I don't need to wash the roots because this plant was never sick or never had any problems. So as I have told you, see, the roots are, the oldest growth is from here, so the new one will be from here. So I want to plant it in a way so that this part will be towards the edge of the pot, and then here, this part will be for the new pseudobulbs. And as I'm going to repot this for maybe every 1 or 2 years, this will be enough to grow 1 more or 2 more pseudobulbs for the time when it will be growing in this pot. And then as it continues growing and getting bigger, I will repot it again, and that's it. Let's just put it here a little bit. It was too much. Of course, your pot needs to have lots of holes for air ventilation and so that the excess of water goes out. And alright, I decided to do it just like this from all sides. And then you tap it and it goes down between the roots. Don't push too hard because then you may actually harm the roots. Okay. Okay, a little bit more so that all roots should be covered, because Zygopetalums also do not grow aerial roots like Phalaenopsis, for example. So you don't need to leave the base open, or you don't need to plant it really higher, because they actually grow the roots from the base and they need to be covered to stay moist. Now this old pseudobulb can actually be a little bit in the medium. That's absolutely fine, because as you have seen, it was growing, the new pseudobulb, it was already almost in the air, and the roots were kind of half in the air, which is not really good, because in this way you cannot really keep them moist and you cannot go and spray all the time. So it's better just to plant it just like this, so that the new growth is just The base is covered, it's in the medium. I can actually add a little bit more. Yeah, just like this. That's it. We planted, oops, not here. So we planted our Zygopetalum. It's that easy and that quick. These plants are also very easy to grow, and you can see it looks even so much better now repotted. I will just place it in a warm place and a bright place, but without sun, especially without direct sun. Well, if you have now a couple of hours sun in the morning or in the evening, which is not scorching, this burning sun, you can still have a little bit of sun on it. Sometimes I have it too, and it's absolutely fine. But don't put it under the sun when it can really burn the leaves and harm your plant. I'm going to water it and put it in its place, and hopefully the new pseudobulb will have a new flower spike soon. This is it. I hope you liked it. I hope it was useful for you. Please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell button to be notified of all the videos that I will post every week, and share your experience with me. Write down your questions or your comments in the comment section below, and let's have a chat. Stay passionate about plants. See you next time.